Accounts of satanic rituals have documented a process taking the adrenaline directly from the victim's body while in a fear-induced state, which is then stored and used recreationally, often during a satanic ritual or later. It is coming to light that adrenochrome is a drug harvested en masse from many children around the world. Increasingly, in the New Age community, people suspect children have been found in underground lockups and bases, otherwise known as DUMBs, deep underground military bases. Many believe that during the COVID pandemic, these bases were found, with many children being freed from torturous conditions by special units and governmental bodies who wish to stay secret while working for the good guys, or white hats as they are referred to. This is a large subject all on its own that can be searched for and is widely discussed by more than just fringe thinkers. Adrenochrome and children markets are vast subjects. In later years, there have been many more survivors, and their stories are not for the faint-hearted. These stories have finally begun to hatch out now that the world is beginning to change. On YouTube, you can find various accounts of satanic and child abuse stories from real accounts of people who got involved but found it too hot to handle. A prime example of this is Ronald Bernard, a money trader who became involved in high-level transactions and businesses on a darker level. As he climbed the ladder, he became more ingratiated into this world, increasingly becoming pushed to bend the reality of what he knew was wrong and right. Ronald explains that at the very height of his career, he began to encounter individuals within the banking system and large corporations who would expose him to the most elite gatherings in Europe. It was at this point he began to encounter ritualistic child abuse, child pedophilia, and sacrifice, upon which time he backed out. He has since spoken out, after being in hiding for many years, and has released his stories to the threat of his own life. These videos can be found on YouTube to the effect of Satanic Child Sacrifice, Ex-Illuminati Banker Testimony, Ronald Bernard. It is understood that the reptilians have also put part of their own DNA into the human mix, which lies dormant until activated by ritualistic activities controlled by the Illuminati. These are often held at private locations, various castles, and stately homes across Europe, which have been used for evil and dark purposes. In Belgium, there exists the Château des Amoras, aka Mothers of Darkness Castle, and it is said to be home to some of the Illuminati's darkest rituals, blackmail parties, and more. The reptilian effort also works to control not only the mind, but also parts of the human brain. Within the healing and spiritual world, it is understood that the pineal gland within the human brain is the part of us that is divine. This small nut-shaped piece of the brain, where the third eye is centered just behind the forehead, is the part of humanity that, when stimulated, allows for divine connection and for receiving types of metaphysical information. It is the interface system to the other side, or, in other terms, psychic ability and knowing one's true self. People who have taken ayahuasca within the Amazon or shamanic environments around the world have expressed a pressure in the third eye area after taking the substance and feeling this part of the brain being awakened. The majority of people have discussed a clarity of thought after taking the drug. It has been proven that the fluoride and sodium fluoride in the tap water we drink have a calcifying effect on this part of the brain, making the small nut-shaped tissue hard, effectively shutting this part of our brain down. Conspiracy theorists worldwide have advocated that the big industrialists linked to old family hierarchical and Luciferian agendas have been poisoning the masses with forced fluoridated water for years, while claiming that it's actually in our best interests, specifically for our teeth. If it was the case that this was good for teeth, then why would the amount in toothpaste not be enough? Why then would there be an extra forced amount within the tap water people drink? And why do more people not explore the value in voluntary fluoridated water instead of forced? Furthermore, is there a depopulation agenda at play here? Evidence seems to exist, as seen on the Georgia Guidestones, which have inscribed on them their apparent advocacy of population control and eugenics. Cancer rates are also higher than ever, but why? There is further speculation from the occult and black magic community that unlucky victims with certain bloodlines are more open to possession than others. This is partly why the Illuminati and various reptilian pedophilia rings are so obsessed with knowing the bloodline of an individual. Within ritual sacrifice or satanic abuse, the practitioner will often seek a victim from a certain bloodline or heritage. This, in turn, makes the victim more susceptible to the dark magic and ritualistic potency required for the desired effects of invoking entities or appeasing astral or demonic parties present that require either sacrifice or ritualistic rape. Psychics within the dark magic world are often recruited to find children of this nature and hunt them down. They offer their findings to the highest bidder within the highest parts of certain religious institutions, or to the elite of hierarchical structures like large corporations and families with ancient bloodlines. Some of these organizations have genealogical databases with vast information of DNA databanks designed to identify those desired bloodlines, and tabs are kept on these specified people. In times gone by, high-level witches have been used in the modern world, employed by the Club of Rome to actively seek very high vibrational souls entering Gaia so that they can either use that soul essence before it is ingratiated into the body, or begin to enslave or torture it from birth and beyond. Rituals often happen in circumstances such as the Eyes Wide Shut party, as seen in the film Eyes Wide Shut. It is understood the powers that be weren't happy that the public was given an insight into that world, as depicted by the film. Is it a coincidence that the director suffered a very untimely death immediately upon finishing the making of the film? We will never know. Things that go on in castles and very old stately homes were never meant to be for the consumption of the public, it would seem, and are kept very secret, although many celebrities who will remain nameless have openly spoken about such atrocities as child hunting parties on private estates. The reptilians themselves are said to be some of the oldest races in the known universe, and have been present long before the universe was as densely populated as it is today. Legend has it that a race known as the Carians, a warrior race with bird-like qualities to their heads, came from another universe to ours, and with them, their creation, the reptilians. Within Starseed and ancient astronaut mythology, the reptilians were created and then left in the Alpha Draconis star system, where to this day many still exist and are known as the Alpha Draconians. They are considered the royalty of reptilians, the forefathers of the reptilians that came after. The Carians are said to have given the reptilians ideas and philosophies in which to thrive and exist. These included domination, warrior-like mentality, and the belief systems that everything was theirs in the universe to take and own, and that this universe was theirs by right. If you were to look at Alpha Draconian reptilians, they would appear more dinosaur-like than later reptilians. Some liken them to a very large raptor, with attributes such as long tails, standing anywhere from 8 to 18 feet tall. Some species even have wings, making them higher within the social structures. They have a large liver and 2 beating hearts, roughly in the same place as humans. They are incredibly strong. Their appearance alone strikes fear into the eyes of the beholder, something they desire, as they can feed from the fear created like a tangible source of food. Intel sources say to kill these beings is difficult, because they are often mentally ahead of the human soldier by many steps. A double tap shot to the heart is said to be the best way to eliminate one of these beings, should you ever be faced with defending yourself. They have had interstellar space travel for a long time, and have conquered and spread to many star systems, often with force or using manipulation. One of the most densely populated areas of reptilian descendants is in the Orion constellation, which is considered